What's up guys, welcome back to the Hand of Glory. So in the last video we checked out the abandoned factory and we found a bunch of pictures of missing girl, and I think the owner of the factory or somebody that works there is her boyfriend and the baby of her and the father of her baby.
I narrowly escaped death in that factory. I would no longer set foot in there.
Okay, so he doesn't want to go back because we did barely escape. Okay, so I'm not sure what to do next, so let's take a look at the our notebook. Okay, search again for the homeless guy at Nancy's. He refuses to talk until I've erased that red mark on his... Okay, so I still gotta erase that red mark on this tree he's talking about. What does that say? Dozer? Something mentioned an exchange of goods at Post in Miami. I need more info. Okay, maybe we'll go check out this homeless guy again. See if we can somehow erase his the red mark, the red paint from the tree. Green dart, I need you. Okay, so here it is, and I need to erase this red mark right up here. So I don't know if this guy can do it. That's basically the only closest thing that we picked up since last time we tried everything.
The paint was still fresh, so the solvent would be sufficient to remove it.
Awesome. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so now hopefully I can talk to this guy and he'll talk to me.
Good morning, Duke Ravendish. You can stop worrying about your palm tree.
You do not speak fallaciously. I see the mark has actually disappeared.
Now, will you answer my questions?
Ravendish can be ruthless, but always keeps his word. Ask away.
About the night we discussed earlier, do you remember witnessing anything suspicious?
The Stroganoff stew was cooked without sour cream. These Americans and their culinary reinterpretations. Beyond that, I remember seeing an extraordinary individual. He was not a regular, I'm quite sure of that.
Can you describe him?
Formally attired, classy, possessing remarkable posture. He always had his back turned to me, so I cannot provide further details about his appearance.
Nothing else?
Not that I remember, no.
Another dead end. He was the only witness of the event, and I only obtained a vague description. The alley was a cold lead after all.
Where is my head? I unintentionally omitted a detail.
I held my breath.
As he strode towards the main street, the man received a phone call, from which I only managed to capture certain words. One in particular aroused my attention, and I determined to research it for purely academic reasons. I wrote it down in a note that, given your precious help, I am willing to share with you.
Gripped with excitement, I prepared to read the note. It contained just one strange word. Sitlalikwe?
Do not look at me like that. I have no idea what it means.
I'll handle this. Although I didn't know how to interpret it, I was sure that bizarre word would lead me to the man in the mask. I had to consult with Alice and try to tie together the strands of my investigations.
Oh, lad, can you remain a little longer?
Do you want me to prune your palm while I'm here?
You have proven to be a reliable collaborator, so I have a second request of you. Being a detective, you may have access to government databases through which you could research, this.
I couldn't help but notice the effigy, a crow, in the act of surrounding the world with its wings.
Oh, that's the same one we saw from the guy in the sewers.
I had already seen the same symbol shortly before. M's medallion. What the hell was going on? Had I exposed a conspiracy of vagrants? Well, can you give me more specific information?
The crow enveloping the world is the symbol of the Ravendish family, as well as of the company I run. Or, more accurately, I ran.
Tell me everything, forwards and backwards.
That shan't be easy, but very well. The Raven was, to me, a constant commitment. I ate with colleagues and slept in the office most of the time. I went home just one weekend a month at most. Over time, I started to ignore my family. First, my wife, who got sick of that situation and left the marriage. Then Cynthia.
Cynthia?
My only heir. She gave birth to a child, but I was so absorbed that I never went to visit them. When I saw her again, she told me she wanted to leave England to move here, to Miami. I was furious. I had filled her pockets with money, given her houses, clothes, and luxury cars, and she just wanted to abandon me, like her mother did. Oh, I feigned indifference and she left, repaying me with a taste of my own medicine.
And since then, you've never seen your daughter again?
My daughter reached Miami, but sometime later, she suffered a terrible accident. She was killed instantly, without pain. The baby, however...
He died with her.
No, I would add, fortunately, but what I discovered later destroyed me. My daughter realized she couldn't take care of the baby, so she abandoned him. I don't know what her last thoughts were, but I was sure they were about the choice she'd made. I used most part of my fortune organizing searches, but to no avail. I felt like I was going crazy from helplessness. In the end, I was declared unfit to manage the Raven, and my portion was bought out by a private group, the Fallen Rose.
Before my eyes, the pieces were being arranged in a very strange way. How could it be that the Fallen Rose itself, the company run by Radwed, was connected to that old man met only through chance? At that moment, I began to suspect that my meeting with Roger Ravendish was anything but random after all. You're telling me you stayed in Miami to look for your nephew for how many years, precisely?
12 years, give or take a few days, and I shall stay here as many more need be to reunite with him.
Listen, Duke Ravendish, I don't want to create false hope, but what are the chances that a 12-year-old kid who calls himself M would find himself in possession of your family medallion?
Boy, if this isn't jest, I must warn you that...
I believe it would be better if you came with me.
Sounds like
So
I
this
found it for
relic
him.
would be my grandpa.
Hey, little monster, watch your mouth.
Come on. I get that you're a bit of a sucker, but I didn't think that much. This guy comes out with an absurd story and I should believe him without any evidence?
Michael, you wear the medallion of the Ravendish family.
Michael?
But there's more. An irrefutable piece of evidence that leaves no doubt in my mind. I see my Cynthia in your eyes. Your mother.
My mom?
Come. I'll take you out of this hell.
The surface. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. It has a weird smell.
City life is a collection of scents. The asphalt, the gardens, the water of the fountains.
The pollution.
You'll learn to distinguish them. But for now, let's go home, Michael.
From the beginning of the story, I had done nothing but use everybody else to achieve my aims. But as I watched that grandfather and grandson leaving together, I realized that for the first time, I'd acted for the good of others, and not myself. It made me feel better.
That was a happy ending.
Hello.
Lars, don't you know that if you have to meet a girl after being in the sewer, you should first take a shower?
I would have really liked to, my dear, believe me. But today, is not Saturday.
I already heard that one. So why do you have that strange smile?
I found out that 2 homeless nobles are related. I've brought them together.
Does it have anything to do with our case?
Yeah, no.
I understand. First, the secondary quest, right? Now, can we get back to the main one?
I was able to sneak inside the factory.
How'd it go? Did you find anything?
I think, my dear, that I underestimated those people. I had to deal with a person of uncertain gender armed to the teeth whom I managed to survive only by a miracle. And thanks to my cat-like reflexes. Add to that the sketchy individual who gently suggested that I leave the case alone. And you'll have a clear picture of the current state of our investigation.
Somebody is not happy with the progress we're making.
Not at all. And the closer we get, the more I feel hunted.
The situation is more serious than I imagined. I really might have a chance for a promotion.
Hey, what about my life constantly being in danger?
Summing it all up, what do we actually know for sure?
First of all, I was able to put a name to our brown-haired mystery man. Now, the factory was registered to his name, a certain Radwed. Then I discovered that tonight an unspecified merchandise exchange will happen nearby at a local pier.
Considering the number of piers and ships anchored in Miami, it doesn't seem like enough to move forward. If only we had another hint of any kind.
I found a witness who swears he saw the lunatic who challenged me. According to this highly refined homeless person, the man uttered the word Citlalique.
Circle Ciplo what?
Yeah, I basically had the same reaction. Can you do a search?
Let's see what I can find. So, the word itself is a proper name, in particular of an Aztec deity. I think in our case it means something else, though. I did a cross-check with anything that might have local relevance. The search produced some matches. A themed hotel in the suburbs, a ship anchored here in Miami, and a strip club in nearby Miami Beach.
It must be the strip club. See you later, Alice.
Stop right there, you pervert.
You don't get it. My instincts lead me to believe that.
Keep your instinct at bay. We need to narrow down the field. We can't afford to go off at random.
All right. But I'm sure it's the strip club.
Okay.
Alice, let's think back to the clues we know for sure.
So, in the factory you found a reference to a merchandise exchange.
That will happen tonight at an unspecified pier.
Then that witness you talked to gave us a name. Citlalique.
Which, among other things, seems to be a ship anchored in Miami right now.
And here we are. I want to do another check. Give me a minute.
Don't get too carried away. The two details could be unconnected.
I don't think so. The Citlalique is a ship used for goods transport and is actually anchored at Pier 5 in the Biscayne Bay. And listen to this. It seems to be registered to none other than Kathrin Mulzberg.
I knew the man was involved with his daughter's kidnapping. Maybe by merchandise exchange. They actually mean the girl. I just have to wait now. If all goes well, I could close the case by tonight.
Listen, Lars, if you're going to sneak onto the ship alone, it'd be better to take precautions this time. Burton wanted me to compile an inventory of new gadgets which just arrived in the department, and there's one thing you absolutely have to see.
A metal bracelet. Pretty ugly too. Well?
It contains a powerful tracker that will allow me to follow your every movement.
So, if I were to disappear, you could at least find my corpse. And this other electronic thingy?
You must pay very careful attention to that. It shoots lethal lasers.
Really?
No, silly. It's simply a Bluetooth headset. This will make it easier to communicate. How do you plan to sneak aboard the ship?
I just have to arrange a ride by sea, and I know just the right smelly person for the job. If I hurry, maybe I'll be able to reach him before he leaves the city.
Lars. Don't get killed.
Okay, so who do we have to find now? Okay, he already found him. Great.
Then, I saw him.
There he is.
Radwood was there, a few feet away from that crate. From back there, I couldn't hear what they were saying, but the tension seemed as tight as a bowstring. From Mama's agitated hand gestures, I realized that I was the topic of discussion. Radwed, for his part, seemed calm, almost indifferent. Was it possible that my interference had passed so unnoticed?
What are you doing here, Stallone?
Uh-oh.
Shh. Can't you see I'm trying to listen?
Oh, great. I got captured. Give my panda back, Stallone.
They had thrown me inside a cold, dark cargo hold.
We're not Stallone, Eugene.
Oh, that blow was immense. But at least I was still alive. Eugene didn't have the guts to kill me. Not yet, at least. He had also emptied my pockets. If they hadn't destroyed it, the tracker analysis bracelet would bring back up here sooner or later. But would I still be alive by then? I had to escape on my own.
Oh, everything is empty. I got the bomb, the perfume stuff. Okay, I have to get out of this place. Fine. Let's check this out.
The winch seemed to be working. I could operate it with those commands. Normally, portholes don't have a locking mechanism, yet that one wasn't opening. And more than just closed, it seemed jammed. Maybe the problem was with the hinge. I was sure the damage was in there, but I couldn't get a grip on it.
I don't have anything for that.
I was all out of ideas.
Okay, so I'll have to come back to that. Huh. Lift hook, lower hook, right, left.
The hook was already in position.
Yeah. Don't know yet. Okay. Lamp. Take it with me. I got a lamp.
In that moment, it didn't seem to be a good solution to me.
Whatever. Alright. Crates. Let's see what's in there.
They were very well sealed, and I didn't have time to try opening them. Not to mention that inside I'd have probably just found rotten fish and rum bottles. Attached to one of those crates was an inviting piece of adhesive tape, though. A bunch of crates was occupying the back part of the cargo hold. I guess they were full of useless. Attached to one of those crates was an inviting piece of adhesive tape, though.
Okay, so there's a piece of tape.
No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a good reason to do that.
I know, that's not gonna work, but
Maybe.
I'm still trying it.
Or maybe not.
Alright, what else? Tent?
The tent was worn and ripped in many places. Behind it was just a shadowy area. I found an old CD player. Old-fashioned, but still functioning. Oh, an original Boney, by the way. Trying to open it, I broke the little reception antenna. It was completely jammed.
Okay, so looks like I got a little antenna here.
Although I tried with all my might, I couldn't break the lock with my bare hands. That hatch could become my escape route, but it was secured to the floor with a lock. The springs of that cot were about to give out. Literally. No exaggeration.
Okay, what about this? Winch cable?
The winch was being powered with that cable.
Okay. So maybe we can try to use this antenna maybe on this hinge? I doubt that will work, but... Oh, maybe it will.
Nothing. The blunt tip of the antenna slipped.
Great. Okay, so maybe I have to do something with this antenna first.
Sometimes, my obsession with using random items didn't lead anywhere. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a good reason to do that.
Maybe we'll get that tape with those crates.
I didn't understand how that could possibly help me. A bunch of crates was occupying the back part of the cargo hold. I guess they were full of useless junk, so I didn't take much notice of them. Attached to one of those crates was an inviting piece of adhesive tape, though.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we got the tape. Cool. What can I tape?
Was it really worth it?
Probably not.
A bunch of crates was occupied.
Okay, what else we got? What else we got? I'm assuming we have to move this hook up here to this lock and just rip it open, but it doesn't go that far, so I don't know.
Years of spy movies suddenly revealed themselves as nothing but shattered illusions. All I did was break the tip of the antenna.
Okay, so I broke the antenna.
It could collapse at any moment.
Okay, so maybe keep pushing it.
The end of the bed was damaged, and a spring stuck out.
Okay, we got a spring now, and that's about it. Well, that's an adhesive tape. That's only 2 new things we got.
I thought it was better to look for another solution. A clumsy lock-picking attempt.
Okay, so what if I use this guy now
Better
on
to look
here?
at it closely first. Through the porthole, I could see the starry sky. Freedom was close at hand, yet it seemed unattainable. And that's why the porthole wasn't opening. The spring that regulated its hinge movement was rotten.
Okay, and I do have the spring, so hopefully it'll fit.
The new spring perfectly fit the housing.
Sweet.
You ugly rat! I must have climbed the side of the ship looking for something to eat. But wait a second. That means Emma's down there.
There he is.
Calling out loud would have alerted Radwed's men too. Maybe there was a more cunning and discreet way to attract Em's attention. If I could point that reflector downward, I'd be able to draw Em's attention. I had to pull off one of my magic maneuvers. That wire was linked to the reflector. If only they hadn't deprived me of that beautiful extending clothes stick. If I wanted Em to notice me, that bulb would have to be used where it was. I thought it was better to look for another solution.
Okay. So now what? Some with this hook, maybe?
To use the hook, I first had to release the cable supporting it.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Release the cable. Oh, okay. So I got the hook now.
The hook would have never reached the lock.
Fine.
Maybe with the hook, I would be able to make something happen on the exterior of the ship.
Okay. So we got the hook outside.
There was nothing left to do but pull the hook hard.
Okay. So now I can pull this hook, I think.
I couldn't move it at the moment. I couldn't lower it at the moment. heard the clinking of chains coming from outside. Em had climbed like a monkey up the side of the ship. Psst, psst. I can almost smell your ode to sewer now.
I knew it was you doing that thing with the reflector. How did you move it from a distance? Are you an illusionist?
In a way, I connected the hook of a winch to the...
If you reveal the trick, it's no fun anymore. You're the world's worst illusionist.
You're not the first to tell me I talk too much.
Did you see my spubby up there by any chance?
See? The little demon jumped all over me.
Oh no! I can't leave this place without my spubby.
I can't get out of this place, period. Give me a hand. Rather than thinking about your lousy rat.
What should I do?
Don't you have something you could help me with? I don't know, like a pick lock, a file, sawed-off shotgun? Or my former pony remote control. Very useful for matters like this. I got it. I'll help you recover that filthy creature. Look how that little critter came out of its lair. It must have an incredible sense of smell. I started to consider that the tiny thing might be helpful in creating an escape plan from that cargo hold. After all, rodents are well known to gnaw everything, aren't they? Even wood.
Okay, so maybe put that cheese on top of the wood? I don't know.
Damn cheese eater! I really need to lure him into the open somehow. The classic domestic problem. How to capture a little pest that can crawl anywhere and run away at the speed of light. Simple answer, with a trap.
Alright, I have to get out of here. Absorb, as it may sound, I need a mouse trap. A mouse trap? What? Okay, so can I build one somehow?
In that moment, it didn't seem to be a good solution to me. Better think about it. If I didn't get out of that cargo... Sometimes, my obsession with using random items didn't lead anywhere.
Okay, maybe this lamp?
It was ideal as bait, but first, I needed to come up with something to assure me that trap would trigger once the rat was inside it. I
Okay.
needed a way to remote control it. Better think about it. In that moment, it didn't... One of the last Pony CD player models. I remember one of the uselessness of... Curiously, the two devices were the same brand. I wondered if there was a way to open the CD player by using the remote control. I would need help. Sometimes, my obsession with...
Alright. Maybe this
I
antenna?
thought it was better to look for another solution.
What haven't I tried yet?
Was it really worth it? A bunch of crates was occupying... like... Psst, psst. Where'd you learn to climb so well, kid?
Have you ever tried climbing a filthy and slime-filled sewer tube? By comparison, a chain is like taking an escalator.
It's my understanding that you know a lot about technology.
More than you, obviously, given the cell phone you carry around.
I just found this old-fashioned CD player and realized it's the same brand as my TV. My hope is that I can use the remote control to make the CD player work from a distance.
But you don't know how to set it.
I don't even know what set it means precisely.
If your remote control is universal, it could work. Do exactly what I tell you. Hold down the function and power buttons together for a few seconds. If you hear a beep, it means it worked.
Hey, it really worked. You never cease to surprise me, you naughty rascal. Can you do anything from down there?
Anything like what?
I don't know exactly. Can you look inside that window and tell me what you see?
It seems to be an office. There's a big map hanging on the wall, a desk full of papers, and a safe.
Do you think you can sneak inside and take a look up close?
No, the window is closed from the inside.
I always have to do everything myself. Try not to be seen by anyone, kid.
Okay, so we got the remote control working. So now...
Thanks, Tam. I'd already opened it.
Okay. Now put the cheese inside of it?
In that moment, it didn't seem to be a good solution to me.
I guess not.
It was ideal as bait, but first, I needed to come up with something to assure me that trap would trigger once the rat was inside it. I needed a way to remote control it.
Okay. So, use the CD player with the lamp,
A
maybe.
technological rat trap was coming to life in my ingenious hands.
Great. Okay. That's funny. Now put the cheese in it?
I had the trap I needed. That was the best spot for the plan I had in mind. Force the rat to dig its way through the wood. I waited a few seconds, but that rotten rat did not show up. I probably scared him.
Okay. So now what I do?
The trap was ready to trigger.
Maybe ask him? How to get the map? I mean the rat to come to you. Nope, maybe not.
Try not to be seen by anyone, kid.
Okay.
First, the little rat had to end up in there. Maybe. Or maybe not.
Okay, what is it? What else is here? I looked at everywhere so far.
It was pointless to try again without spending at least 6 months in the gym.
Maybe look around again.
They were very well sealed, and I didn't have time to try opening them. Not to mention that inside, I'd have probably just found rotten fish and rum bottles.
Oh, there we go. Remote control.
Gotcha! Little guy, you're gonna be my ticket out of here.
Alright, let's see what you wrote down. I've got this Bobby, now get him to dig. Fire maybe somehow? I don't have fire.
I was all out of ideas. Was it really worth it? I could insulate the antenna with tape, but I didn't see any reason why. My clumsy lock-picking attempt just managed to break the antenna. I thought it was better to look for another solution.
Okay, maybe talk to him. Nope.
Try not to be seen by anyone, kid. I felt a bit sorry for the rat, but not so much as to free him. There wasn't anything else useful.
Okay, so it has to be something, right? With a,
I thought it was better to look for another solution.
with the tools I have.
Was it really worth it?
Apparently not.
I didn't understand how that could possibly help me.
Okay. Maybe something with this hook again? Maybe not.
I couldn't with the hook. I was all out of ideas.
Whatever.
I felt a bit sorry for the rat, but not so much as to free him.
Okay, so I need to heat this up somehow. Sweet.
The bulb was very hot. It burned my hand, even with the gloves.
Okay, so I assume put the bulb in here, but then it'll be probably cooled down
The
by
lamp
then.
was emitting enough heat to cause the rat to dig down.
Great.
I just needed to power the bulb now.
Okay, how to power this thing now? There's a wire here, right? If I cut the wire and connect it to the lamp, maybe?
Maybe it would have been better to take some precautions before attempting such a move.
Like what?
The winch was already lowered.
How do I power this down? Precaution. I don't know.
I thought it was better to look for another solution.
Okay, that did something. Ah, I see, okay. I secured the little antenna thing. No, not the hatch. Okay, so let's see what we got.
The heat
Sweet.
of the bulb spread quickly inside the trap. At the beginning, the rat ran around in circles, panicking. Then I realized it could only escape in one way, by digging. Now I just have to enlarge the hole.
Okay. The hole has to be expanded. Okay, expand the hole, Probably with a hook, right?
Maybe. Or maybe not. I could use it to hook the winch to anything that was in range. At that moment, the winch was powerless, so it would have been useless to operate the hook. They were useless without power.
Oh, so I have to plug this back up.
Better not to touch it more than necessary.
Okay, so maybe use a tape.
The winch might have been useful to enlarge that hole.
Sweet. Alright, let's try it now.
Ready for some healthy destruction?
Sweet.
No hatch, massive door, or prison can stop Lazarus Bundy. Hey, Em.
I don't know how you did it, but Spubby is here.
Yeah, I can barely contain my joy. Now go back to your dinghy and keep the engines ready.
Thank goodness. I don't like this place.
Huh, you're scared, huh?
Not at all. It's just that it's cold out here, and I want to go back home.
And now, we're out of here.
Okay,
Found
new
myself in a
place.
cabin full of documents, papers, and a huge map hanging on the wall. On the table, I glimpsed a box containing all my belongings. I intended to retrieve them, and then run away like the wind. But the phone started to vibrate as soon as I picked it up. Must have been Alice trying to make contact to figure out what happened to me. Alice, it's not exactly the best time to talk. I'm about to jump overboard.
I assume you were able to infiltrate the Citlalique. Remarkable.
You!
It's a real pleasure to finally be able to chat, even if not face to face as I'd hoped.
You son of a...
I prefer you call me Doctor. And why so much spite towards me? I'm just trying to give your career a little boost.
By kidnapping a girl? I'd rather stayed sitting on my hands.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. But we'll talk about that another time. I'm dying to know how your investigation's going. So please tell me, have you already found it?
Found it? Haha, of course. I found everything.
I'm afraid not. And indeed, your situation is not the best. That ship will be your grave if you don't decipher the riddle that lies within as soon as possible. In the main cabin, to be precise. You'll recognize it by the huge map hanging on the wall.
You bastard. This whole thing is just a game to you. A sadistic game with the life of an innocent at stake.
The life of two innocents, as you have surely already discovered. At this point, I'm curious, Lazarus. What do you think about the kidnapping of Kathrin Mulzberg?
Let's see. It was a romantic getaway. You're after fortune. I don't know.
Eric Mulzberg is one of the richest and most influential men in the city, so it's only natural for the motive to be money. What doesn't make any sense is the lack of a ransom demand, even after all this time.
There will be no ransom, because money is the last thing Radwood needs. He wants Kathrin and what she will give to him shortly. A baby. The girl was mentally reconditioned. Her entire sentimental story with Radwood was created and well orchestrated. Even the baby's conception.
But why? What's so special about that baby to make someone engineer such a plot?
Now you're pretending to know too much, Lazarus. But the clock is ticking. I suggest you spend your time trying to find what's hidden on the Sitlalique. One last hint. You have the solution to everything in your pocket, even if you still don't get it. The hourglass is emptying, Lazarus. See you soon.
I hated admitting it, but the doctor had managed to replace my healthy instinct for survival with an irrational need to turn that cabin upside down. Until that moment, I hadn't learned anything concrete, and the situation was starting to burn at me. I needed a victory, even the smallest one, to find the strength to proceed, but I couldn't achieve it by myself.
Hello?
Miss Sharps, I'm Inspector Burton. I was about to drink my 5th afternoon cognac when I decided to promote you as an intern for life. Congratulations.
Lars? Lars, is that you?
Hey, how'd you recognize me?
Has anybody informed you that phones now show the number of an incoming call?
Mine doesn't.
Your phone dates back to 95, Lars. Wait a minute. You're not on the Sitlalique, are you?
I'm calling you directly from the oceanic flows.
Are you in danger? Do you need me to send backup?
Well, I've been locked inside a cold, dark cargo hold for a while, and it's only thanks to the supersonic speed of my brain that I managed to get out.
Or combining random objects or breaking things like you usually do.
After that, I received an interesting phone call from the doctor.
The doctor? You mean the man you've been hunting for days?
Precisely. It seems he wants to be called that.
We've established that he likes theatrics then. Are you hurt?
Only my feelings. This guy doesn't want to kill me, Alice. He's having too much fun with me.
He creeps me out. Anyway, you better leave that ship, and soon.
There's a situation I need to tie up first, but I need your assistance.
Then it's time to use the Bluetooth device I gave you. Involve me in all your steps.
Roger, do you receive me?
Loud and clear.
I can't take my mind off the last words of the doctor. You have the solution in your pocket. What if it was another one of his subtle clues? Let's get to work.
Okay, he's talking about something about this map, big map, right? Let's see, door window.
It's not yet time to abandon ship. I have a challenge to win.
I don't understand how you can say something like that. I'd run like hell as fast as possible.
But I'm a professional, intern.
What did we say about the intern?
Sorry. A device measuring the pressure and the altitude and...
You live in Miami and you don't know the first thing about boats?
If you can believe it, I don't even know how to swim.
Okay, here's a map.
Hanging on the wall is a large map.
Describe it to me meticulously.
It is represented as a map of the entire world, but actually it is missing entire continents, including North America. Seems antique.
If it's missing the more recently discovered continents, it could be traced back to the time of the ancient Romans. Are there any decorations?
No, nothing specific.
This doesn't add up. Normally maps like that always display a symbol, the windrose. It should be there.
What if it was removed for some reason?
I think we should follow this lead since we have nothing better. Look for anything that might refer to the windrose.
Windrose. Alright, table.
Try to find something that relates to the windrose. Anything at all.
Let's see. A few incomprehensible projects, an incomprehensible sort of logbook, a completely incomprehensible stack of papers. Then we have playing cards, a few chips, nuts, and a drink. Somebody went buck wild in here.
Come on, Lars. Don't waste time.
Wait a minute. Here it is. A magnet with the windrose engraved on it.
This is confirmation that we're on the right track.
God, there's such a mess on this table. Don't they have a cleaning lady around here?
You wish, so you could repeat your trick with the bloody heart.
That was really epic.
Okay, so we got the magnet.
It's not yet time to leave. I have a challenge to win.
How about the safe?
There's a safe in the room. From the look of it, I'd say it's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Can you read its model?
Let's see. Secure Master Core 2.5.
Bad news. I am browsing a blog of professional safecrackers, and it seems nobody has yet found a way to open that specific model. Or at least, a way that does not involve using an abundance of dynamite or liquid hydrogen.
Sorry, is a blog of professional safecrackers really a thing?
You'd be surprised what circulates on the deep web.
Anyway, it seems clear the only way to open this safe is to find the right combination. I don't think the doctor would play so dirty that he wouldn't provide me with all the necessary information to face his challenge. The combination must be somewhere in here. We're sure that trying random combinations wouldn't do any good.
Okay, so... Wheel, middle wheel. There's like not even numbers in there. Okay, let's look at the map again.
I have the windrose. I just have to use it on the map somehow.
So, windrose.
Okay, I have the windrose. Now what do?
Let me check.
Maybe on the deep web there's also a nice blog for code breakers of old Roman maps where a windrose is missing.
Okay, I found a website that seems reliable. If the map is a reference to the ancient Romans, there's only one spot where that magnet should be placed.
Rome, obviously.
Wrong. Apparently the Romans were convinced that the origin of the winds wasn't in Rome, but an unspecified point in the Ionian Sea.
Copy that. It's make or break time.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's Ionian Sea.
Without specific clues, I wouldn't know where to start. I can't help but think of what the doctor told me. You have the solution to everything in your pocket.
Maybe he was referring to something you have with you?
Okay. So I already have it with me. What about this chess note?
Wait a second, Alice. When the doctor suggested I have the solution in my pocket, maybe it wasn't just an expression. The chess note I found along with Kathrin and Radwed's photo. It must mean something, and maybe it's even linked to the riddle hidden in this room.
It seems plausible. Describe the note to me.
There are some chess diagrams, a few colored in red and others in green.
The combination of color and chess could be a movement suggestion. You know how it works, right?
Chess? It always seemed to me a pastime for manic obsessives.
You don't know how wrong you are. Ask if you need instructions.
On one side of the note there's also a windrose. That could be a reference to the map in the cabin, couldn't it?
At this point, I'd be surprised if it were otherwise.
Okay, let's get to work.
Okay, red knight, green rook, red knight, red bishop, red knight, red rook, green knight.
A knight.
In chess, a knight moves in an L pattern. So 2 squares vertical followed by 1 horizontal, or vice versa.
A rook.
The rook can move in as many free squares as you want, but only in horizontal or vertical lines.
A knight.
In chess, a knight moves in an L pattern. So 2 squares vertical followed by 1 horizontal, or vice versa.
There's a funny piece with its head cut in two.
The bishop. You can move it in any diagonal direction, as many open squares as you want.
A knight.
In chess, a knight moves...
Okay. Still don't know what to do with all this.
I was not an expert on the subject, but it looked like a windrose to me.
Okay, so look at the map again. Okay, so we got green and we got red. Oh, okay. So where was his starting point again? I don't know.
I didn't like that noise.
I think you inserted the wrong code, but look on the bright side. Now we are sure that the map hides some sort of mechanism.
I counted 7 moves before the warning triggered. That narrows things down, but we're still talking about thousands of potential matches. What I need is a reference.
In the meantime, return the rows to the starting position. I bet the mechanism will reset.
Okay, so let's look at the picture. I think I see the pattern now. So we got squares here. So like, if it was a horse, it would move like this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, or that way. Lots of different options. But I do see the colors, you know, we got red and we got green. So let's just start with this, red knight. So let's see where that can lead us. So it has to be red. So it can only be this way, I believe. There's nothing here, so yeah, there's a red dot up here. Okay. So then we have green rook. So that would either move this way, or that way, or that way, or this way. So the only green I see on my way is this square piece right here. Okay, then we got the knight again. So, okay, so this is option here, and that is it. So this is our next move. Okay, then we have bishop. So it moves diagonal in any direction, and it's red. So there's nothing there this ways. So the only way I see is this guy right here. Okay, so next one is knight again, and it's red. So not this way, not this way. So this is wait. Yeah, this is the only way I see. Okay. Then red rook again. This one I think. Right? Red rook, yes. So it can only move left or right or up and down. So I think this is it. Okay, and the last one is green knight. And that's the only way right here. Fantastic.
What was that metallic clank?
That, my dear, was the sweet sound of success. Safe is open.
That means its mechanism was just a smokescreen. Very ingenious.
But why did the doctor give me suggestions on how to solve the riddle of the Citlalique?
Maybe he was feeding the challenge by giving you some hints.
I hope next time he sends a few pistachios instead. I love pistachios. Alice, I hear steps in the hallway.
Do something, hurry!
Where am I going? Did I not make it?
It's not what it looks like.
No, I didn't make it. I got shot.
Lars!
Let's try the chain. Oh, I think the chain worked.
Suck on that, Doctor.
What's happening? Are you okay?
I gained some precious seconds, but I've got to move. The safe contained mostly paperwork, bearer bonds, property records, and notarial deeds. But something else caught my attention. It was a small obsidian item that partially reflected my image. All that fuss just to hide a little mirror. And yet, I immediately understood that this wasn't an ordinary mirror. I could sense its power running through my veins. It was like holding something alive.
Lars! Pull yourself together, Lars. You said you have to move, and instead you've been gawping there for 2 minutes now.
2 minutes? Damn, this little thing hypnotized me. I'm hanging up. We'll catch up when I'm back.
Do get in touch.
It's Eugene!
Go! After my incursion aboard the Site Lalique, I knew I should expect another private visit. This time, without any possibility of a rain check. I wasn't wrong. The same individual that approached me a few hours earlier had returned, and this time he wouldn't go away with just some simple chatter. Besides, at that point, I was tired of talking as well.
Hopefully that's his phone. Hey!
You have nowhere to go.
Are you sure about that?
What's happening? Woo! I would have broke my back, at least. He was not a happy guy. November 15th, Miami Promenade.
Hey, freshwater sailor. Open your eyes. Come on, I haven't got all day.
Ew, what?
Rise and shine, little princess.
So, it all happened for real. And I'm still alive.
Or are we both dead and this is heaven? The sight is like I imagined it to be. Now, if we're finished with the small talk, let's get to it. I have a Slavic witness rambling in an unintelligible language about two men beating each other up on a public bridge in the middle of the night. I am forced to deduce by the circumstances that one of the two men was you.
It was a true and proper assault, old man. I was riding around on my green dart when, all of a sudden...
Don't bullshit me, Bundy. I know very well what you're doing. If I let you do what you want, it's only because of the respect that I feel for you. But you went too far tonight.
You're not the first one to tell me that.
But I'll be the last. I took your badge back, and this time I'll lock it up so tight that even a funambulist trick won't be enough to get it back. The Mulzberg case is hiding more than it seemed in the beginning. I can agree with you on that. But your methods make me blow a gasket. You have concealed evidence from the authorities. You scared potential witnesses to death. You alarmed our main suspect. And on top of that, you dragged Miss Sharp down with you.
Alice has nothing to do with this mess. She didn't even know I was acting alone.
It's too late now for melodramatic scenes. Alice Sharp was suspended from her already precarious duties, and for that she'll have to thank a man who could have helped make her career. Goodbye, Bundy. In the end, you really disappointed me.
Rude.
It was a tough blow. I had nothing to lose in that whole story, and I jumped headlong into it. But Alice... I destroyed a dream nurtured for years, and was just started to materialize. I felt like a worm. Going home to rest on a real bed seemed like the best idea in the world at the moment. I'd think about the rest later.
Lars!
Oh, you scared the shit out of me. Wait, how'd you get in my flat?
By the door. You're not used to locking the door when you leave, are you?
I know this might seem like a maniacal habit, but the key to this door is somewhere in the city sewers. Alice, I guess I owe you an apology.
I agree, you do. Or else you could get me out of the situation you've gotten me into, rather than wasting your time feeling sorry for yourself.
We just have to give it a little time. Then I'll talk to Burton. I'm sure he'll be willing to give you another chance.
You have to face the truth. Burton wants nothing more to do with you, me, or what we have done. Let's admit it. We acted on impulse, sought glory on our own. And do you know what happens now?
What happens is that you'll go your way, and I'll go mine. And maybe we'll catch up once a year to wish each other Merry Christmas with a phone call full of silence and embarrassment.
What happens is that we roll up our sleeves, and we really do find the glory on our own.
You'll find a good workplace, despite everything. Maybe not in law enforcement as you hoped. Maybe as a waitress or a cleaning lady. But you'll manage to move on somehow.
Lars? Did you hear what I just said?
Then kids will come, sweet innocent children that will instill in you a new hope for the future. Oh, wait a minute, what? Are you serious?
Never been more serious. We got so close, Lars. I heard what happened tonight. If Rodwed came for you in person, it's because deep down he considers you a real threat.
Did you know I was able to beat him like an omelet against the mailboxes out here?
Did it happen before or after he threw you out of the building?
There's something wrong with that man. First of all, he lifted me off the ground with one hand like I was a 6-year-old child. Furthermore, and you probably won't believe this, but I saw him. Yes, I saw him age at least 30 years right before my eyes. In just a few seconds. No snarky comments? Is that a positive or negative sign?
Having reached this stage, I am ready to accept pretty much anything. Except aliens. Don't you dare propose any theories about aliens.
Yeah, only that lunatic from Weird Cases believes in aliens. Anyhow, how do you explain such a phenomenon?
This individual, and also the doctor, they seem to share a certain taste for theatrics. Could it just be a trick, an illusion? After all, it was dark.
I can't rule it out for sure, but couldn't you do some research about it anyway?
There was no need to ask. What will you do in the meantime? By now, you've exhausted all your valid leads.
I should find out what that strange obsidian item was that I found on board the Cite Lalique. But during the struggle tonight, I saw something drop down the hole in the floor out here, and I'm pretty sure it was Radwed's smartphone. I'd say that's the top priority.
Then I'll wait for your progress. From now on, we'll use your house as our headquarters.
Fine by me.
Don't expect me to clean it, though.
Alright, let's see what we got. What is this? A mirror.
It emanated a power I was able to neither decipher nor quantify. Plus, I couldn't look at it for too long without feeling a sense of discomfort.
Rhoda dropped something in the hole outside my apartment. Cell phone. Yeah, so let's go and look. In this hole.
I would not be able to reach that little object even if I stretched to the maximum. I'd need some sort of tool or extension.
Of course. Always. Okay. What do we got that's lone?
Now it was within my reach. And there was the little object I had glimpsed the night before. Radwed's smartphone, finally in my hand.
Okay, we got the smartphone. Did I take it back to Alice? Yeah, show it to Alice. Okay.
Hey.
How's it going?
There's a matter we need to clarify before the story ends. Your lock.
You still haven't given up on that.
Absolutely. Listen to this. You said you study behavioral science, and that you specialize in the facial analysis of people. Now, in my opinion, that's a tough task comparable to poker. In addition, the eyes are the mirror of the soul. So you created your secret weapon, a tuft of hair that partially covered your own eyes, so you could spy on others without being seen. A bit like wearing sunglasses to look at girls' bums without being called a pervert. The white dye, then, is just a way to divert attention away from the real purpose of the lock.
I never thought I could use my lock in such a way. Your idea is brilliant.
So, it's not that either. Oh, man, I'm starting to feel frustrated.
Are you ready to throw in the towel?
All right, I officially declare my surrender.
I already mentioned that my father was a great detective before his retirement, but I never specified who he worked for. Mr. Richard Kelvin Sharp, my grandfather. The owner of Spy Corps I, the biggest private detective agency in the eastern United States.
Bucatini smanakari.
You might think this would be an advantage for a girl that dreamed of nothing else besides becoming a detective. Instead, my grandfather was a man of old convictions, son of a patriarchal model that he never thought for a moment to call into question. So he denied me a job.
You were rejected by your grandpa?
Can you believe that? There was a huge fight. I cursed him and his agency to hell while he threatened to cut me out of the family inheritance in order to dissuade me. So I left, knowing that if I gave up, my grandfather would have won.
But he failed. That's how you ended up here, doing an internship for old Seamus.
That's the reason for my white lock. It's my war declaration. It reminds me of the rejection of my grandfather, my own blood, and this pushes me every day not to give up. Disappointed by the reality?
Not at all. I thought you were going to catch me off guard with something simple like, because I love myself like this, or I copied my look from a superhero.
Well, yes, I love myself like this too.
I suppose I didn't manage to solve the mystery completely, but there is one thing I'm sure of.
What is it?
Your grandfather was wrong.
Thanks, Lars. I'm happy we talked about it.
I recovered the package.
Tell me you were spot on and that we have Rodwed's phone.
You better believe it.
Seriously? So taking all those blows was worth it?
Taking all those blows? Since when did you start speaking like a bar brawler?
Since I've been hanging out with you. Give me the device, quick.
Can you get anything from it? Useful information that will get us closer to Kathrin?
I can and I will. Let me work. I just have to open the tracking software.
Well, let's be clear, though. He took the most of the beating.
Okay. The tracking software. So I'm controlling this, right?
I'll only turn the PC off when I don't need it anymore. This button would turn the webcam on, if only I hadn't disabled it permanently. I'm really careful when it comes to my privacy.
Okay. Say tracking, right? This is the tracker. Lars tracker, okay.
Now I'll connect the smartphone to the laptop and wait for the readout of the results.
So now we will be able to track the calls made with this device?
We should be, but the tracker wasn't able to find enough data from the phone. I guess it's shielded. Darn. Do you see the area that appeared on the map? It indicates the place where Rodwed's phone seems to have been used lately.
Oh, too vast to identify the precise spot. Tell me you still have one more trick up your sleeve or I'll start crying.
I could try to monitor the incoming signals received in the last few days. If we can obtain at least 3 readings, we could triangulate the signal's directions and find the location where Rodwed was at the time of the calls. Here's the first signal. Judging by the reference radio tower, the call must have originated from the old factory building.
Mama did mention she had called Radwed, now that I think about it.
And here's another signal, this time closer to the coast. Any ideas?
Probably the harbor office contacting Radwed after accepting his bribe. Maybe to clarify a few details about that night.
It all fits. And I guess I have access to a third signal. 1 minute and... oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, the fact that the icon is sizzling and dancing all around is not a good sign, is it?
Not at all. The signal comes from a radio tower near the Mulzberg mansion, but the results are disturbed. I guess they installed some kind of shielding device specifically to prevent being tracked.
All right, I'm on it. Just tell me what I have to do.
Take this device for starters. Once you get to the Mulzberg residence, use it to track the source of the disturbance.
What should I look for exactly?
A telephone jammer. That is to say, a little device equipped with antennas. When you find it, put this tracker on top. It is also programmed to deactivate the jamming device. Once it is taken out of the equation, come back to me, and I'm sure we'll get something.
No sooner said than done. I'll be back here in no time. The signal didn't point exactly towards the house, but to the garden. I had to figure out where they stuck this you know, the radio thingy. I was able to cross the garden without being noticed by anyone, following the signal up to the gardener's shed. I found the device behind one of those stacked crates. Following Alice's instructions, I put the device I had with me on top of it. Then Alice would be able to...
Uh-oh.
Did I really need to do that, Mama dear?
How's Eugene here?
Sure you did, idiot. Didn't you see that bunch of fleas was going to bite my hindquarters?
If you say so, Mama.
Don't hold a grudge on me now. We followed that shorty this far. But where did he go?
Come out of there, Stallone!
No, in the garbage, you idiot! He must be in the shed. Now be quiet and let's wait for him to come out.
Trapped again. Mom and Eugene didn't want to drop the ball. To get out of that shed, I would have to devise one of my genius ideas, and fast.
Right. So I'm assuming it says get out of the shed, right? Eugene and Mom are back. It's time to get rid of them once and for all. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got opening on top. We got the shelves again. The bed. Bunch of junk. Toilet. Okay, so I can... Wait, I can do something with crates,
I
right?
could have used the crates to barricade the shed, but sooner or later Eugene would manage to enter all the same. Then I saw the opening above the door, and my brain cells started to activate. I could build a ladder using what I found in the shed, and the box seemed like something I should remember. But for the base, I need something more solid.
Okay.
No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a good reason to do that. I thought it was better to look for another solution. The boxes were stacked in no particular order. I didn't know what they contained, and I couldn't be bothered finding out.
Okay, so it sounds like I need to find a base.
That fridge was emptier than mine.
What did I just pick up?
I just found a honey pot that could be useful.
A honey pot?
A jar, jam-packed with sweet amber honey.
Okay. I remember seeing some bees outside too.
Maybe that opening would give me a tactical advantage.
Tactical advantage.
The toilet could have been useful, but it was secured with screws.
Okay, so unscrew the screws somehow. Can we do this wrench?
Investigator, cook, tightrope walker, and now also plumber. My portfolio was becoming impressive.
Okay, so now I can secure that as a base, maybe?
The toilet and crates might have helped me get a better view of the situation, but not like that. I could have used the toilet to barricade the shed, but sooner or later Eugene would manage to enter all the same. Then I saw the opening above the door, and my brain cells started to activate. I never thought I'd say something like this, but the toilet bowl was perfect for the job. Well, now the shed had a comfortable floor toilet.
Okay, so not about the crate, maybe I put on top of it?
Another step in building my stairway to heaven.
Okay. Climb up.
How long do we have to stay here, Mama?
All the time we need, you redneck. Sooner or later, he'll decide to come out of there.
She is mean to him.
I couldn't do anything from up there.
Okay.
Can we
I
go
couldn't do anything
now?
from there.
No!
Poor animal had been put to rest forever. Found the
And
power
now?
of persuasion
No.
that woman had over Eugene horrifying. Overwhelm him with my bare hands? Sure.
Now?
No!
Okay, so what we got?
In that moment, it didn't seem to be a...
Okay.
Might have attracted them towards me. It might be a good idea, but she was too far.
Okay, that's working.
Mama, it started raining.
Don't talk nonsense, you big monkey! Can't you see there's not even a cloud in the sky?
But I was sure that...
Overwhelm him with my bare hands?
Where's the honey? Oh, am I holding it still? Okay, so... Oh, picked up those pebbles that were laying down, okay.
Throwing pebbles wouldn't have been enough.
Can we go now?
Throwing pebbles wouldn't have been enough.
Sweet.
And now?
No!
Mama! Mama!
Eugene, you idiot! Get back here immediately!
Hit her one more time.
2-0 for me, Mama.
Just drop the gun.
I knew that wouldn't be the last meeting with the two henchmen. But for the time being, I had dodged a bullet. Then I saw Bobby on the ground. Eugene had clearly let him fall as he ran. It was a great relief to have him back in my possession. It was high time to beat it.
Okay, so back to Alice, I'm assuming? Let's see what I wrote down. I deactivated the thingy. Alice should be able to examine the cell phone now. Okay, let's go.
Hey,
How's it going?
the device is gone. I'd like to specify that I risked my life once again to make it possible.
Perfect. We should have what we need to continue with our search. There. Now we have all 3 signals we'll use for tracking.
And how do we proceed now?
Do you see the light trails? They show the direction of the outgoing calls from the radio towers. I just have to select the radio tower to manipulate and use the 2 arrows on the lower left to rotate the signal.
Okay, so somehow we need to make those...
How will you know when you've set them the right way?
The signals will become more defined once they're arranged in their correct orientation. And once all 3 are done, we'll have the general position of Rodwed's cell phone at the moment the calls were received.
Hey, I actually understood that.
Now let me work.
Okay, so I gotta make them brighter somehow.
I'd be out of the area of interest.
Okay, down. Okay, so they're getting brighter.
I'd be out of the area of interest.
Okay, so what is the brightest one? I think this one. Yeah. Okay, this is how you switch them. No?
I'd be out of the area of interest.
Okay, so I got this one. Yellow.
Lars, come here. I think I got it.
Well, that was easy.
The signals seem well defined. These are the exact directions of the phone calls. If we consider only the area where the 3 signals overlap and narrow it down to the circular area we're inspecting...
We obtained a decidedly small zone. In the Everglades, that would make sense.
In that vicinity, there only seems to be an old, unused building I cannot find any official papers for.
We found it. This is the place they brought Kathrin. I'd bet my hat. We have to go, now.
Hold on. We need to think carefully. You always go and charge in without a plan, and as a result, you've risked your life many times since this case started. We must be extra cautious instead. We have very few hours of light left, so we might as well wait until tomorrow. In the meantime, we will formulate a safe approach plan. We could even consider involving Burton. After all, we're dealing with a teenager's life here.
I'm not entirely convinced, but all right. For once, I'll try to restrain myself.
Perfect. At this point, would you mind if I stay over? We could save a few precious hours.
Be my guest. The bed is right over there. And on the other hand, I can see that you and the sofa are meant for each other, so I don't want to come between you.
You're really the last of the knights, Lazarus Bundy.
What would happen to Kathrin Mulzberg if I didn't make my move in time? And besides, how much would I expose Alice by involving her in all this? Those were the questions that kept me awake. The answers to those same questions finally helped me to understand what I had to do. I was going to be alone for the last time.
November 16th.
I reached the place in the middle of the night. I had to leave Green Dart a few hundred feet away because of the rugged and swampy terrain. A lonely wooden building arose in the desolate Everglades landscape. There was no light that hinted of a human presence, but I was sure I was in the right place. I needed to arm myself before proceeding.
I got my wrench. I'm good to go. Green staff. Jesus. Well, there goes my wrench.
Alligators. The Everglades were haunted by those fanged demons. With a single blow, I had lost my source of light and my only defensive weapon. Oh, to hell with me, and my dislike of firearms. The structure was dark and silent. I didn't think there was anyone inside.
Okay, so just go ahead and go. Should I look through the window first? Okay, so I'll probably have to reach and open this somehow, right?
With that, I could reach the latch keeping the hatch closed. The lower hatch of the door was open.
Okay.
Obviously, the door was closed.
Oh, the hatch. Duh. Okay.
The hatch was designed for a small animal, not a human, so I could never squeeze through it.
Come on. What'd I do?
The hatch was designed... Obviously, the door was closed. The hatch was designed for a small animal, not a human, so I could never squeeze through it.
Okay, let's think what we have. Oh, mirror. No, I can't use anything with that. Oh, maybe I have to back out
The hatch was
first.
designed...
Okay, so let's move. Try this mirror on the hatch.
Maybe. Or...
No? Maybe I gotta combine this mirror.
In that moment, it didn't seem to be a good solution to me.
Or maybe not. Okay. Think.
Better think about it.
No. I don't know. Magnet?
Maybe. Better think about it. The trick of the key dropping on a newspaper and then slipping it under the door only worked in the movies. But I had another idea in mind. I'd broken my very useful antenna, but at least I was able to poke the key out of the lock and make it fall on the floor of the cabin.
Okay, so the key fell. I can probably reach the hatch. Yes, there it is.
The trick had worked to perfection.
Okay. Sweet.
The shed was completely empty, with the exception of an abandoned envelope on the table. With a trembling hand, I picked up the envelope. I couldn't believe what I saw. Me, climbing the wall of Mulzberg's residence.
Wow.
So somebody had been spying on me since the beginning of my investigation? The bowling night with Alice. I'd exposed that girl beyond all acceptable limits. The interrogation of Duke Ravendish. So they knew I was looking for the Cite Lalique. That's why Radwood was so calm. Just as I thought, the daring escape from the Cite Lalique aboard M's raft. Those fanatics have been following my moves step by step.
Look what we have here.
Uh-oh.
I prepared a little show for you, Detective. Now relax and let me work. The spectacle is under construction.
Captured once again.
You.
There's a girl.
Not another step, Detective. Or I might lose control of this old, trembling hand and make a fine mess. Hands in the air and no tricks.
If you so much as touch her...
For goodness sake, Bundy, do what he tells you.
Wise suggestion, Eric. We don't want this innocent creature to suffer any premature pain, do we?
For the love of God, let my grandson go.
First you give me your daughter, and now you pretend to play the role of the thoughtful grandfather.
The kidnapping. The kidnapping wasn't planned. Mulzberg had promised not only Kathrin, but also the baby born of your relationship.
But it seems that the word of a businessman carries very little weight these days.
I was blinded. All the power you promised me isn't worth the sacrifice of...
Eric. This knife is becoming heavier and heavier.
If this is really the end of the road, at least I want to know why.
This is not a pathetic theatrical performance with a happy ending, Detective.
I've been watching you, so I know you didn't warn anybody about your solo plan. Because this is what you're used to do, isn't it? Following your ambition without any compromise. Putting your work ahead of everything else. Ahead of family. Leaving it behind in the name of your ambition. Ahead of the few friends you've had.
I fulfill the emptiness of your existence. That's why you desperately need me.
And that's why you can only watch helplessly. So now, if you don't mind...
No!
Hold it right there. Keep your hands up where I can see them.
Like this?
What the hell was that?
Where did he go?
The window, quick!
Help the poor guy.
Kathrin Mulzberg was rushed to the hospital, while the Everglades were scoured from the ground up by Burton's men. Radwood and the baby had disappeared without a trace. Too many questions were left unanswered. How had Radwood gained these mysterious powers? And what was the role of the doctor? Only one thing I was sure of. I had failed. I stayed out late that night. I didn't have the guts to face Alice. If she hadn't warned Burton, things would have gone even worse. Radwood had tracked all my movements. Every bit of progress I thought I had made was just one more step toward the ending he had prepared. His ending. I underestimated my enemy. Or maybe I just overrated myself. I couldn't keep deluding myself like that. Maybe I should...
Yeah, drop the
drop
cigarette.
my last line of defense.
Lars. We can't let this thing stop us. We just need...
I just need to go to bed and forget about everything.
That's it? Is this how you built your fame? By leaving things half done?
I have no energy left.
I don't believe you. Not after what I've seen.
Listen to me.
You walked on unstable ledges. You twice broke into the den of murderers you were after.
Alice.
You risked it all to save that girl. And now...
I'm dying of cancer!
What? You run out of words? Didn't your kinetic superpower see that coming? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it'd take tremendous effort to hide such a disease. And you're right. And yet it's far worse than you think. Having to pretend every minute in front of others. In front of your boss, your colleagues, your neighbors, the supermarket cashier. Having to look confident, brilliant, unshakable, invincible. Yeah, I lied. I created such a well-orchestrated charade that I ended up believing it myself. I lied because I didn't want to suffer the look on your face right now. Concern, sympathy, pity. I don't want anyone looking at me like that. Not once. I was the best at what I did. I was the detective who flushed out all the cruelest and smartest criminals on the East Coast. And I need to be that guy again. Even if my body betrays me and stabbing pains pierce my mind. I was hoping this case would be the last blaze of glory for Lazarus Bundy. But maybe it's beyond my reach. I can't face all of this, Alice. Not in this condition. I can't stop them. The masquerade is over.
Wow, that took a twist. Alright, this is it. So, I think this is part 1 that's over. There's another part coming to this game. I'm assuming continues from where we left off, and I think it comes out in September. So we have a few months to wait. Alright, I appreciate everybody sticking with me so far. This game was pretty cool. Definitely awesome story.
Sleep with my clothes on.
Wait a minute, the game is not over yet? Or is it?
What are you doing? Listen, Alice, about last night.
Remember that bomb that Kathrin pointed out to you?
Yeah, I got it. I need to take a shower. You already told me.
We were wrong. The clue was referring to something else.
Hey, have you been up all night?
Everything is clear now.
Listen, I really don't want to.
Answer this, Detective. How long has it been since you've gone back to your roots?
Ooh, what?
I was just booking 2 plane tickets. We're going to Italy.
Alright, and I think this is it.